It is a pleasure to have you here, my friend.
Oh, you've been on my channel plenty of times now. We've built up quite a rapport. So this is the least I can do.
I appreciate it. We have. I had to give our producer and Dylan a little disclaimer before we got on. I was, we got to keep it a little bit tame. We're supposed to be mature. This is old school life. We got to keep it mature. We're
Right.
gonna bring the immaturity a little bit, but we got to bring it mature. We are happy. We feel like kids on Christmas. We are true fans of this sport, and it is Olympia time. It is that season. Tomorrow they will be on stage, so there's a lot going on. We're gonna try to cover. Let's start off with there's gonna be Keone.
Mm.
He's up almost 12 pounds. And if there's anybody who's even going to be on his level in the 212, matter of fact, Olympia, men's open at that point next year. That's where I'm thinking. That's where my brain's going. We got some drama brewing in the men's physique class. I don't know if y'all caught the presser, but there's a lot going on. Ali Bilal, he was getting it in. Brandon, there's some little touch and go going on. And of course, we cannot forget about, what are they calling it now? The hair gate and all that. The
Hairgate.
mic. Yeah, the
With
Mike
Marge
Sommerfield
Sommerfeld.
with Marge Sommerfield, and then of course we have everything that is men's open and the coin flip that we can do 4 or 5 different ways as far as who's going to take the Sandout home. So let's get right into it. Let's start with Keone.
Mm.
How about that? Let's go with Keone. All right. So we know that he is, I think, officially 211.9 pounds. He
Right.
is right there
He's
on the
hit the
cuff.
gap. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. So how do you feel about him? Have you seen his updates? Let's
I,
talk
I
Keone.
mean, I'd be very surprised if there's anyone that's on bodybuilding social media that hasn't seen them. I think right now he's just the king of the updates right now. I mean, him and Nick
Yeah.
Walker are the guys that everyone is talking about, and rightfully so, because in the updates, they they look insane. They look like Mr. Olympia. Nick, we'll see, but in Keon's case, there's no one in open that even comes close on pretty much in 212. There's no one that even comes close in it on any metric. Um, they don't have the size of him. They don't have the width.
No.
They certainly don't have the structure. He's getting the
No.
condition now. It's a package that won't be beatable. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, if he's like even remotely on one call out, send him back. That's it.
So you think he's gonna get that Phil Heath treatment? Might it be the Phil Heath treatment?
I mean, it'll be not to be hyperbolic, but it'll be just as dominant as some pound for pound, just as dominant as something like a 2013. I've said, there are Chris Bumstead's wins were as dominant as Ronnie's wins some of the time because there was just no one that could really stand next to him and pose a serious threat. And then for Keon, that's just the case. Who's going to pose a threat? I challenge you to name me one name, not in a disrespectful way,
No,
but I
no,
mean,
not at all. Yeah.
Keon has serious genetic gifts, and he's capitalized on all of them. So it's just a done deal. Some guys are better than
Yeah.
others from the get go.
Now, do you think he will be forced, not forced per se, it might be some choice words, but might he have to just kind of go up and we're going to see him at Prague?
Right.
So do you think this might be his last classic physique show? I'm not classic, his last 212 showing, and then he might just go take on the open, depending on how he does in Prague?
I think so. I think at this point, yeah. There's no reason. I mean, a lot of guys still, even if they hit the 212 weight cap, they'll still do a couple more years because I mean,
Yeah,
a weight cut won't hurt you typically that much until Breon was able to do it for a while. I know that was classic. Flex Lewis was able to do it for a while. Um,
that he was.
but yeah, I think he should definitely test the waters and then see. I mean, I don't even know if he'll need to do Prague. He definitely will and should. But I mean, based on what we see tomorrow morning, I mean, I think we'll be able to tell quite quickly.
Yeah, do you think at this point right now, what we're going to see on that stage, do you think he can make it to a first call out men's open?
This is I've always had the unpopular opinion on this. Um,
Let's hear it.
because because the fact of the matter is, and this isn't shade, but you are 5'5", as of 2024, 5'5" and 200 pounds. That means everyone, and it's not always scale weight that matters. Keon he looks larger than life even on stage, but at some point it does matter. I don't even know if he would have beat Andrew Jacked last year just off sheer size. I don't think he would have beaten Martin, and I don't think he would have placed top 3 last year. Based on what I'm seeing now, I think it's time to update that opinion. I don't think I'm not gonna say top 3 automatically
No,
because I just don't get that. Like, yes, it can be the best. We can all agree C-Bum has a better physique than any open guy. Maybe you want to say that, but that doesn't mean it's going to beat them on a bodybuilding stage because of size and thickness and density. I think, though, Keone is bringing something absolutely wild in the updates, and it's not like they're hidden behind lighting or something crazy. There's just in a doorway, in a mirror, this is what you get. So I think it'll translate to the stage, and I think this is a package worthy of at least top 8 at Open. I think that's, and people will say, well, that's not top 3. I think you're underrating him. Top 8 at the Open is this year is
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, you're right off bat, there's 6 gentlemen there who it'll be tough to put anybody in front of them.
Right.
I mean, even people from the past, top 20
Right.
in the world type physiques.
Right.
It'll be tough for them to go and stand with these guys. These guys are looking really good. I think we see a lot of people who don't give today's atmosphere of bodybuilding enough credit. Rather, it's down from men's physique all the way up to men's open. I think we have a very deep lineup. I think as of late, the lineups they've been shaky, but they've been getting better. And I think this year alone, I mean, dude, the first 2 callouts are going to be just a toss-up, and all these guys are going to be bringing their A game. So, I mean, it's something special. I think going back to 212, there's some names, but obviously we all got to think of, give some respect to another Mr. Olympia winner for 212, and that is Sean Clarita. Sean Clarita made it clear he's coming in dialed in. He's not trying to come in with fullness, not trying to come in. He's going to bring his, but his specialty, which is that conditioning, that gnarly look that he brings. The issue is he's going up against a powerhouse in Keone, who just at this point, I'm not trying to sound crazy, but call it how you see it. I think this guy can look good in every division. You throw him in a classic stage, he's going to look good.
Well, I have a bold prediction to make about Sean Clarita. I think he kind of slips this year, to no fault of his own, actually. I think he'll bring a decent package. I just think we've seen like a resurgence of the 212 recently. Like, you can name like really good 212 athletes, which like for a couple of years after Flex retired, it was just kind of that old crew mixed with some fresh faces that never really did too much. So you've got Lucas Garcia, you've got Madelman, whatever, Jose Burry. You've got Kareth Bajo, Nihat, I don't know his last name, the Vietnamese guy, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna look real bad if he's not Vietnamese, but the Vietnamese guy, if I'm not mistaken. And these are all guys that have a lot better shape than. And look, this is kind of it's not the shape division anymore, but when your standard has maybe the best proportions and X frame of all time, pound for pound, it does kind of force you to look at everyone through a different lens.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's going to be some heavy hitters. However, it's one of those situations where Keone is just looking otherworldly. I'm very curious if come next season, we're going to see him, of course, on the Olympia stage, but similar to Urs, he might be having his open debut there. As far as for the Olympia stage, we're going to see it in Prague. I can't wait. I hope that all these gentlemen who are thinking about it on the cuff in men's open bodybuilding actually take that chance, and
no reason not to. No reason.
Yeah, I mean, hey. And we saw it last year at Prague with Bumstead and Martin. So, hey, there's, that being said, Keone's not Bumstead. Keone has the size. He has that X-frame. He has that gift-like physique that will allow him to not be outsized by Martin Fitzwater, to not have him look, like, oh, this is not a, quote, bodybuilding stage kind of thing. He's going to look like a bodybuilder on a men's open stage.
He'll be able to play the bodybuilding game just to a lesser degree, but whoop every guy 100%. In terms of shape.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, I don't know if he has a better X-frame than Chris Bumstead. I wouldn't know if you want to call that better shape per se. Some people will prefer the actual long limb aesthetics of Chris Bumstead, but in terms of just actual X-frame proportions, no one is beating Keone.
No, it is reminiscent of what we saw with Ronnie as far as who can touch this style of physique, this shape overall. Now, getting into shapes, heights, and genetics, let's go to the next topic. I believe you called him Marge, but we're gonna go
Yeah.
Mike Sommerfield.
Yes.
From what I could tell, it sounds like he had to drop, I think, 14 plus pounds leading up into this weigh-in.
Well, we were excited about this. We were texting back and forth all morning.
We were pretty giddy.
I was on the
We
edge of my
didn't know
seat.
what was happening. We kind of felt like we were watching WWE for a little bit. Like,
Right.
honestly, I felt like I was in the Attitude Era or something,
Right.
because this felt like a work. Obviously, if you tuned into the weigh-ins and check-ins, there is a lot of drama. We are in the internet age. We are in the social media era, to where a lot of people are going to have their voices heard, and rightfully so. That's fine. Get your comments, and it helps. But kind of went under fire, especially considering they did a lot of this behind the scenes. We had a live, we had the live, and it was all behind a curtain, which I get. If I'm head of Olympia LLC, I'm gonna want to be the one to put out the footage, whatever it is. I want to be in control of that. I think that's just intelligence at its best. But I get it from the spectator perspective, being like, what the hell's going on? What's this? And just being in an uproar. So I kind of know your thoughts on this, but if we can give let's try to talk this out. What are your thoughts on Mike Sommerfield? How do you think this will affect him?
I don't want to slander anybody, and I'm not going to. But there are some facts that we got to take a look at. I felt, as a fan, I was disappointed that it was behind. A lot of people are used to UFC. The scale is front and center. It's front and center at these press conferences, at these weigh-ins. It's front and center. If you have to take your clothes off, they'll hold up a towel for you, whether you're male or female. I don't know, So,
yeah.
I don't even think the excuse works of, well, we needed a backdrop for the guys that are naked. You mean the guys that compete naked? But look, so I felt, just as a fan, I thought it was a little disappointing not being able to see their heights and weights. And I knew how that would play over. Everyone, the whole thing is about transparency. Hey, we're going to reweigh everybody. We want to be transparent. And then they kind of do it in a not so transparent way, perhaps the least transparent way. And that left a bad taste in my mouth from the beginning. What did you think about that? You're fine with that?
To me, this might be where I get the slander, but I'm fine with it in the sense of, if you as a company are doing what you can to keep, your ducks at bay, you want to sit there and have everything correctly done so that there's not no people doing. Remember, it's a lot of people watching this. There was over 7,000 plus people watching the lives and all that on the Olympia TV. My issue with that might be, all it takes is a weird little camera angle, something like that. We've seen people going crazy with the AI stuff, and all it takes is that one little funny camera view where he looks like he's 5'7", and then they're going to take that and run with it. Or maybe they're going to get this shot, the screenshot, right when it's going down to his head, but it's not quite there. And then we can take that and run with it. So I get it, the full transparency part, but I hope that there is some footage back there. Even if it's Olympia's own videographers, whatever.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought they were going to take
this.
Pictures of the scales, and they would be in the check-in photos. I just looked. I don't think those are out yet.
So that's what I'm assuming is going to happen, and I think that's intelligent. To me personally, I get it. Not saying I'm a fan of it, but I get it, and I might even roll that way. Hey, that's why I'm not president or being head of these things, because I might be the shady little guy. But nonetheless, how do you feel like it can impact his performance?
I'll be straight up. If he wins this weekend,
he's been going.
If he wins this weekend, there are going to be boos, just because of how much this boiled over.
And it's that, to me, that's sad. I understand it, but there has to be a bad guy. I mean, he's the badass, right? So
that's true.
He needs to change it to the badass or something. He needs to take on that moniker, and it might help. He's playing the role pretty well, and I don't even think he's trying to put it that way. I just think it's that the internet took something and ran with it,
right?
And that's how it is. That's how it is. The good thing is, with Bumstead not being present, hey, it brought some excitement to Classic. I mean, if I'm a writer, I like this.
I love it, even though I staunchly disagree, and I am on the I guess I am on the Mike Sommerfield hate train. Call me what I'm a Mike Sommerfield hater at this point. Guess that's what you can call me, I guess. But I mean, we can't deny this is great entertainment. I'm glad this
It's
happened. I'm glad
yeah,
this
it is
happened.
entertaining.
Right.
It's entertaining. It's to the point to where it's what we're talking about, and we're a day out from Olympia. I mean, it's crazy, but hey, I'm here for it. I mean, with Bumstead not being there, there's some big shoes to fill. Even if they got the little fillers in the shoes, you know, to
Right.
get
Even if they're wearing the Ron DeSantis lips.
might be those platform shoes, but it is some big shoes to fill, and I'm here for it. I'm happy. Shout out to everybody who's competing. I cannot wait to see it. Ramon's gonna look crazy. I think we're
He's gonna
gonna see
win.
probably. That's a bold statement. We'll get there. We'll get there because we haven't even talked classic on this channel yet.
Really?
And I know we've discussed it. We have not talked. Yeah, we've not went in depth. Like we've talked about it, but not in depth. No predictions or anything like that. So I can't wait to hear that. I think I have an idea. We might be on the same page a little bit. But next up, I mean, speaking of WWE and entertainment, something else we don't cover too much here: men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're just gonna get into there because men's physique is going through some changes as well. And when you want to talk about just the night of champions and things like that, we got Buendia going for his 5-time title. We got Ryan Terry going for his 3rd title. Brandon Hendrickson is back.
Mm-hmm.
Olympia winner right there. One of my, a fan favorite for me. And of course you have, I mean, I would, dare I say, the Andrew Jack of this division, Aaron Banks. Like we have some heady hitters. Ali Bilal, the new voice, the new Jeremy Buendia, if I may. There was some back and forth at the presser. For those of you who did not see, men's physique brought the heat, man. They brought the, what I wanted to see at the press conference. They brought it. It was a little back and forth. Ali was, I believe he said that next year he'll be the one to retire Ryan Terry. Now, yeah, saying that is crazy.
It's kind of romantic.
That's you could call it that. I mean, but I don't think anybody's going to retire Ryan Terry at this point anytime soon. This guy is 10 plus years into his, time
Right.
on the Olympia stage, and one is looking incredible, might be at his all-time best, but we have some heavy hitters in Ali Bilal. I mean, all these divisions at this point are stacked. And the fact that we have 3 or 4 plus Mr. Olympia champions, even in the men's physique division, is pretty dope.
It's because bodybuilding is better now than it's ever been.
Yes. So we have to be a little bit thankful for, the social media and all those, the TikTokers and all that goofiness. We have to have some love for it. It is sadly the new age magazine, and I'm here for it. I'll always be a fan of this sport. But I really enjoy the fact that the ones who are the smallest men on that stage, I say smallest, take that with a grain of salt. A lot of these guys,
Pause?
no. They're pretty, the men's physique, don't sleep on them. It's not 2014. These guys are legit bodybuilders, and a lot of them can step on a classic stage and probably do some work,
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on men's physique? Do you think Ryan Terry is going to take home the W?
Full disclaimer, I don't follow it that much, and I'll say that right now. It's my least favorite division. I like 212 more.
I understand. You're a size queen.
Yeah,
you're a bodybuilder.
Yes.
You're a fan of that, so I understand.
Right.
I understand, but you got to give love where it's due. So,
so I do know I'm a big fan of Ali Bilal, and I think from the front he's just not beatable right now. But from the back, I think a lot of guys beat him, and it may only be narrowly, but a lot of guys beat him. I think Aaron, when he's on, is pretty good. I think Ryan. He's pretty on most of the time nowadays. He'll beat him unless Ali has made some pretty drastic improvements. I've always liked Chiron, but he always seems to be on the outskirts.
Yeah. Sadly, it's one of those situations to where, you have to question, is that what they're looking for in this division?
I thought it was
see it in
big.
the other divisions. Yeah, and he was going to go up to classic, and I think he ended up going back down. And we'll see. He is another one of my favorites as well. He came in with the little anime trunks and all that, had a little thing coming down. He's a way to stand out. But I agree. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be a showdown. I think any of these guys that you just named, I mean, Aaron Banks from the back, Ali from the front, Brandon Hendrickson saying he's bringing his best package. I understand, yes, very positively, but we're going to get past it. I don't know if they know what that means here, but the point is, it's going to be a deep lineup. Can Buendia make his mark? I know it's a tall,
It's a tall order.
yes, but I mean, come on, man.
I will say,
Even him flat at that Sasquatch show.
pleasantly surprised with his improvement in just a year. That was
Yeah.
actually like you could see last time he was at the Olympia. It was like, is Jeremy still there? Is he in? Well, I don't mean mentally, but is he still there? Is he in there? But then you see this package from 2025, and you're like, there's a glimmer of what
Yes.
once was. More than a glimmer. I start
100%.
getting PTSD in a good way, I guess. I start getting nostalgia attacks, and I'm like, whoa, that is the Jeremy Buendia I've come to know and love, that we've all come to know and love. And you say he was flat at that event. Is that by his own admission, or is that?
Well, I'm just saying, as far as what it looked like, he was flatter than what it needed to be.
Right.
Like, I think that what he's going to look like on stage will be, yes, exactly. I think it was, a couple weeks out. It's going to come to territory. It's exactly what we saw, say, Samson did last year. And another dope thing that happened at the presser was when Dia kind of took Ali under his wing. As we know, I mean, you made a little. What was it? A Freudian slip earlier about the mental case, and obviously Buendia, we know him to be a very controversial guy at one point. However, he's cleaned it up and he's doing really good. And shout out to him because he was talking to Ali during the presser and was just, giving him all sorts of knowledge. And I think it's dope because that's coming from somebody who's been there, done that. So shout out to Jeremy for being not only just a great ambassador, but truly being a bridge to the other younger cats coming up in the men's physique and just bodybuilding in general. I think that's who we can learn it from the most, the people who've been there and done it. So that was a great sight to see, especially if you're a fan of Buendia. It's hard not to be like, it's hard not to get on the, this Jeremy Buendia train, because will he be first place? It's hard to put him in front of people like Aaron Banks or Ryan Terry. However, he can be first call out for sure. He can be there.
He maybe could be a factor this year, because what was he last time he was at the Olympia? 13th? Something like that?
Yeah, he didn't, and granted,
and with all due respect, he just wasn't a factor.
Yeah, and I think the physique is looking a little bit more progressed.
A lot. I'm actually, some guys you can see they wear their age poorly, and he's actually like, he's turning back the clock. You're seeing it in real time.
Yeah. I mean, this is the great thing about bodybuilding in general, is when you can really just, take a second and enjoy all factors of it. I mean, me and Dylan have talked about even women's like the fitness division. We love that. I mean, fitness is one of the funnest things for me at the Olympia.
I have a Taylor Learmont poster above my bed.
I believe it. And shout out to Taylor. Yeah, that is another just a spectacle in our sport, man. She's just somebody to watch and just wow.
She's going to win this year.
Oh my goodness!
No, I don't know about that, because the
I won't say with Missy Truscott done and she's doing figure.
Yeah, but
she left it out.
Taylor is so far off from. With all due respect, she gets all the points right now off the routines. Yeah, it's all yeah. And then when it comes to the actual comparisons, the body, it's yeah. But then you have to wonder at that point, does the more muscle start taking away from what you're able to do in the routine, and vice versa? And can she win with the balancing act, making it, like stealing points from this to even them out? Or does it kind of have to be like
her? For somebody like her, I do think it will forever be a balancing act. She's still young, but there will be time. And, there's still time. There's a lot of time. Don't hate me, because I know I think Taylor will be probably a top 4 in that division. So, I mean, it's just a lot. I mean, we got Natalia. There's so many things going on in bodybuilding at this point. Shout out to Natalia. I mean, that's another one. I can't see what happens. I cannot wait to see. But this is the one thing I want to really get into. It is men's open. I think it is that time. I think we've all been going back and forth just constantly when it comes to who's going to be our first place, second, third, fourth, all the way down to, at this point, we can just call it first call out. We have no idea. We have we can say, who's going to be in there? Guess what? There's new order. Baruz is in town. And he got that love. He got the champion's welcome.
He did.
They gave him his just due. So I know that as far as those who watch Old School Labs pod, we've been here before, and Baruz was not coming at that point, so he didn't even make it to our top 10 predictions. So with Baruz coming in, with everything you've seen, updates and all, when it comes to let's just say your top 5, right? Mm-hmm. Those who are in the top 5, do you see Baruz being first call out?
Well, I can pull it up for you. We've
I'll
made
pull up mine.
yeah.
Mine's changed about 3 times in the last 3 weeks, by the way, may I add.
Okay. My top 5 does not include Beirut, nor does my top 6.
Okay. Is he seventh at
But
least?
my top 7 does include Beirut in
Okay,
mine.
okay. There's no harm in that. We're talking, you got the likes of Andrew, Martin.
Right.
These are, I mean, a lot of the other people that were talking, William Bonac, he beat William. He beat the Nexzilla, so this is why he's getting, it's a tall order, but hey, it's why people are putting him in there. Could be possible first call outs.
Well,
Now,
I think the biggest piece of evidence is at the Romania Pro in 2023, where although Samson was smaller, so was Beirut. Beirut was able to stand next to Samson and look very comparable.
very good point. Very good point. And we saw what he did at the Dubai Pro when, he beat William. He beat Nathan. He beat Tonio. And Tonio, I know we both hold Tonio in high regard as well. Tonio is a physique that we can kind of all have love and be fans of because it is a very, come on, we always hear.
What's there not to like?
Yeah, you can't. There's not one thing you could tell me. Is there room for improvement and growth? Of course. But when we talk about ceilings in this division, Tonio has a high one.
Right.
He has a high ceiling. Now, I really want to get into it. First off, for those of you watching, pause the video. Let me know in the comments, who do you have winning? You can give me your top 5 and all that if you want, but this is the thing. It doesn't matter. At this point, who do you have winning? Because I have a strong feeling that we're going to see 6 different people in that first place from everybody's perspective. I think that there's people who can still be on the Andrew train, rightfully so. They can be on that train and be like, Andrew's going to take it this year. It's going to be the best package. But Ruse, there's a lot of people who believe it. Ask Milos. And there's a lot of people who believe Ruse.
Yeah, that's true. That's
first
true.
place. And I love that love, man. Milo hyping him up. I need that in my life. Some hype like that. It make me feel like I'm a superhero.
I'm kind of like that guy for you.
But I will say, speaking of people I like, obviously at this point, you guys know, may the best man win. But I have some favorites, and honestly, they're all possibly in that top 5, top 6. We got the Martins out there. I know you're a big fan of Martin. We have Andrew. We have Nick Walker, the mutant. Come on, Samson, the best shape that's going to be at Olympia this year. Hadi. And of course, Derek Lunsford. Most of these guys that are just named are past Olympia champions. So where do you see, at this point, where do you see that top 4, top 3, top 5 shaking up? How do you see it? Let me know your feelings.
Well, if anything, I got to start back at. I got to orate my story like I did earlier. I got to start with the top 10.
All right, go for it.
So, and I'll make this quick. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, Good Vito is going to be 10th. And I'm saying this like I know. But Good Vito,
I have him in 11th, but I have him right there. I think he could be as high as like 6th and 5th.
He's going to beat Brandon Curry. It's going to be a sign of the times. Brandon will be unable to replicate his Arnold Classic package. Good Vito gets a top 10 placing. He'll get to move on. 9th, Tonio Burton. Tonio beat him the last time they were on stage. Tonio was a top 10 worthy physique. In 8th, I have old Battlin' Bill. William Bonac.
Mr. Billy Bonac.
Yes, Billy Bonac. I think his physique is just withstanding a lot better than some of the older guys are. And then 7th, now we have a changing of the guard. Beirut Tabani. 6th, Andrew Jacked could win. This is 6th and above, anyone could win. 5th, and I hate to do it, and I'm going to say this, I need to spread my gospel here as well. 5th is Martin Fitzwater. Now, the problem for Martin is if he shows up like Pittsburgh, even though he's my favorite bodybuilder, I have no problem leaving the hype train, and he'll place 7th, maybe 8th, because he can't keep bringing packages like this in front of the same judges. They're not going to like that. But
so if he brought the Pittsburgh Pro package, where do you see him placing?
7th.
I think he's going to be better. So you think if he replicates Pittsburgh Pro, you think 7th?
You can't again, he's my favorite bodybuilder, but he was a sweating mess on stage, and it just is what it is. And then he could be as high as 3rd. I'll tell you what, he could win the show because he's a lot like Tonio, just bigger at this point and more developed. He gets in condition we're talking about an in-condition package, Martin. So if he brought 2024 Olympia peak with improvements, no, that could win. Yeah, that's win.
That's a top 2 physique.
And then 4th, I have Nick Walker maintaining the edge in their rivalry. Third is going to be Hadi Chupin, who it's just I go back and forth. Second is going to be Samson. You hear that train? That that's the Martin Fitzwater hype train. I gotta get on here. I gotta get on there pretty soon. So let me wrap it up here. Second is going to be Samson Dauda, and then first, I hate to do it. But Derek Lunsford. People that know
Wow.
me,
Yes.
are gonna know that I am not a big fan of Derek. But I think this Triple Crown storyline, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. He's got all the hype. The judges like his physique.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. This, I mean,
Debatable.
put it this way: if he is able to bring what he brought at the Arnold Classic stage, I think that a lot of these gentlemen are going to have a very tough time.
Will he though? I mean, that's the Olympia, the Arnold, the Pittsburgh, now the other Olympia. Hadi.
You hear a lot of people who have, their ear to the sport, who know that it does tend to get harder to peak.
Of course.
Some people don't even like to see somebody peak like what Samson did.
With the Pittsburgh. I mean, the Arnold to the Pittsburgh. I got to be honest, Pittsburgh was the worst package he's brought since 2022. 2023 was better, 2024 was better, and then his Arnold Classic version was certainly better. Pittsburgh still was able to pull out the win. Make of that what you will. That's why I do think a lot of people have Nick Walker winning this Olympia. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah. Well, so when people say that, and I know I've heard a lot of people say that, and that it's not possible, and I get it. Your old classic bodybuilding fan, they might believe that, and if you're looking at it as far as what the judges like, you might also believe that, because the judges, they can dictate where and who they want to win. I don't mean that in a messed up way. I'm simply saying what they want to be the poster boy for the sport as far as
right. They have standards. They have criteria.
Exactly. And all these guys have, attributes that go with each of them. If you're talking shape, muscularity, there's Samson for you. If you're talking coming in conditioning and shredded, if we're going to put a microscope on that, you have Hadi, who is probably not going to come off at all. It's very tough to see Hadi off. Derek, man, his attributes outweigh anything negative you could say.
I disagree.
Right? Oh, and you're allowed to. There's opinions for a reason. And that's why we're not on the judging stage. We are spectator fan judges, and we're just doing this and just trying to make our best guess. Obviously, biased predictions are different from what we're going to put the money in the house on predictions, right?
Right.
To where I do think that anybody in their right mind is probably going to put it, that top four is going to be interchangeable between most people's predictions. It's going to be a Hadi, a Samson, Derek, and Nick. And rightfully so. I know you flipped it like 5 times.
My original top four was Derek in fourth, losing tons of ground, unable to even replicate his Pittsburgh Pro package. And then in third, I have Nick Walker. That was my original prediction. And third, I had Nick Walker because I was like, well, he leaves the Olympia after 2 years, leaves in third, comes back, gets his redemption by beating Derek, and doesn't skip a beat with his placing. And then Samson's in second. And then Hadi is able to pull out a win, bringing one of his last best packages because he's had a whole year off. That was my original prediction, but I was like, man, I want that too much. I got to flip it to something I don't want.
I see what you did. You did the win-win scenario to where either which way you're happy because you look like a genius if your predictions are correct.
My actual predictions are, people need to understand this. And I know you just said this, but what I predict is as if I'm betting money on it, not what I want to happen. It's what I think will happen. I prefer Nick to win just so I can see him and Bob, for him to say, who is Bob on stage?
And they had that little moment at the presser.
They did.
And that's the one thing that I love to see is, I'm a fan of the sport, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm stupid when it comes to this sometimes. I'm into all that. I like seeing how they act, and that'll run its mile for me. So Nick came in looking like he was just dialed in, ready.
Confident.
Just eye of the tiger situation.
The crowd loved him.
Yes, oh my God, you heard them pop for him, and it's rightfully so. I mean, this guy, he has so much charisma that you can't not. It's hard to hate Nick. It's hard. Mm-hmm. If you do, I think you're just being a hater, and hey, we need that as well. Be a hater, and that's fine. But you cannot tell me that this guy is not going to do damage on that stage. It's just not possible. If you're doing that, you're going to, be hyper focused on the gut. But guess what? We've seen him, recently be able to control that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, 5 or 6 rounds into posing, when it's like a, to the wire tie.
Right.
The smaller person might end up looking a little bit better at that point. But I think you're never wrong with your predictions. Please let us know in the comments what your predictions are. Who's winning? Is it Hadi? Is it Baruz? Is it Samson going to take the repeat? I think that Samson can. I think that one big thing is he's the outlier in this situation, to where if he actually gives the judges what they ask for, if he comes in a little bit more dialed in, see a little bit more of that glute situation, whatever you want to, whatever you fancy. If the lower back has a little bit more tightness, just if we see a little bit more conditioning going on for him in favor of him, he's going to be the champion. To me, you have to knock the champion out, and I don't see any of them knocking him out if he comes in with that slightly better conditioning. If he brings the same package as 2024, it is going to be tough to beat with slightly better conditioning.
He's his own worst enemy. In fact, with his genetic advantages, he's his only enemy. Because unless these guys come in with 110%, if Samson, they can't beat Samson at 100%. A lot of them can't even beat Samson at 90%. We saw that last year.
We've seen that.
Right.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Because I say last year, Samson won with what is his minimum condition requirement. If he was any less conditioned, I don't think he would have done it. But he hit the right level, and with his size and shape, there's just no one that can compare.
Yeah, I mean, so you have to go a little bit deeper in the lineup, and I feel like, Andrew is somebody who can fare as far as the overall shape, and he takes up a little bit more space than Samson.
True.
When you really think about it. Now, obviously, the same situation. Andrew's going to have to bring in some separated hamstrings, a little bit more, just from the back.
The whole posterior chain needs a little.
Yeah, from the back, it's in. Hopefully, we're going to see that. Like I said, there's no telling. We had no idea Martin was going to do as good as he did last year, and he did. Right. So there can be that breakout. I still think Beirut, of all the people, is going to be the breakout. However, I will say this one thing. For those of you out there who don't know or know, I'm a big fan of Akeem Williams, right?
Oh, we know.
And yes, I'm a big fan of Akeem. However, we got another guy coming up who I think is very comparable to Akeem in a lot of ways, and that is Good Vito. Mm-hmm. And Good Vito, I don't know if you peeped this, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be standing right next to each other.
Oh, they got...
Whenever they were getting their numbers, it was Akeem and Vito. And that's a little matchup I want to see. Mm-hmm. I would like to see that, because I think it's the new guard coming in. I think it's going to be, honestly, to do the pun, it's the old versus the new school.
I prefer Akeem with you, but I think Good Vito may get the nod. Maybe he nails his condition both nights. Maybe yeah, he just has a wow factor about him. But so does Akeem.
Yeah, and Akeem needs to show up night one. But I will say this. That's the crazy thing about this lineup, and why I want to give so much credit to it being so deep, is the fact that you have people like Regan. You have people like Tonio. You have people like Good Vito. You have people like Brandon Bonac, to where they can literally place anywhere from the edge of second call out to trying to peek into that first call out. And that's crazy to me how deep this lineup can really go. I mean, you have so many people with so much potential. And as they come in on, you hear Samir say it all the time, it's that water boy. If they come in dialed in, looking correct with that, with a 24K quality, there's no telling what can happen with dang near 10 of these gentlemen.
Would you say this is one of the best Olympia lineups of all time? I may just go as far as to say it is the best.
I appreciate you saying that. You know why? Because I feel like if I said it, I'm gonna get shitted on and slandered.
I don't care. We have to stop beating the 90s off. It's not that these guys aren't legends, but there was never lineups like this.
I will say that for me, this is a great. I'm very excited for this lineup. I do think. I mean, you're echoing what I'm saying. I think it's a very deep lineup
for Mr. Olympias.
I mean, come on. Like, that's why, and you have people, you have a lot of, not to say, I know I'm
and about far-fetched. 6 or 7 people that can win it.
Yeah, and you have uncrowned, you have William Bonac up there. You have classic physique stepping up to the big leagues. I mean, you have Nexzilla, you have mutants, you have monsters. It is Halloween for a reason. I think we're in a spooky season when it comes to this.
When I say the best, I don't necessarily mean like these are going to have the most legends, because I think the 90s is always going to be held in such high regard because it was the first to get nostalgia. But in terms of actual competitiveness, I would say these modern lineups are the best. I can't think of very many lineups that were more competitive outside of the 2010s, and that's still of the modern era.
I think that we've been so used to throughout history seeing a lot of lineups to where there's that top 2, top 3 maybe, or just that top 1, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, etc.
Right.
To where we don't really see it as deep. And I think that this lineup in particular, especially what we're building up and gearing up to get into, it is very deep. We don't have a clear winner. I'm telling you at this point, any of these 5 or 6 gentlemen could be the next Mr. Olympia. And literally. And as you can tell, you can look all across the line and see everybody's predictions and see that everybody has the same probably 4 people in their lineup.
Have you noticed this mass exodus from Samson and predictions recently? I feel like this is a vibe shift. I'm into politics as well, and I love elections. It's my second love. Not even necessarily the politics of it, but elections. And you can just feel, like when you're tapped into an energy, like you can just feel when there is a shift in the vibe.
Yeah, I
feel like there kind of is, and I don't know if that's right or wrong. We'll see.
Yeah.
But like everyone up until like last 2 weeks was predicting Samson and then everybody else. Now I'm seeing a lot more variety when it's time to actually make predictions. Why do you think that is? A lack of confidence on Samson's part?
Well, I mean, dude, put it this way. Would you bet on any of these gentlemen if your life depended on it? There's no way. It's not the situation to where it's like, we can sit there and be like, this is the bona fide winner. There's no way in hell. That's why I want everybody to sound off in the comments, because I know we're going to get 6, 7 different people and 30 people give, like it's going to be a situation to where you can't call it. And that's why I think this lineup is so sweet. And it's why we're getting treated right now to a very, very good Olympia lineup. I don't think that anybody can have any complaints because, can people sit there and lose faith in Samson? Of course. Why? Because you got Hadi right there behind him. You got Derek. You got Nick. You got Baruch. You got a lot of heavy hitters. You got Andrew, Martin. And if any of these guys show up, hey, it's going to be a long night. Let's put it that way. It's going to be a long night.
Which will start earlier. Dan Solomon said it's going to start earlier this year.
We'll see. Hopefully, for the sake of the big guys, man, let's hope.
Right.
But I'm excited. I can't wait. I feel like it's Christmas.
Yep.
Dylan, I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Do you have any words for the people out there in old school land?
Oh man. I gotta see your guys' predictions. And I've made some crazy claims today. I've said I've already shit on the 90s. I've said modern bodybuilding is a lot better.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the wrong venue for that. But let me know. Maybe there are some people that agree with me. Even in old school land. Even in old school land.
There'll be some outliers in old school land. I think that the people, it's, I feel like, Scott, do you have the predictions that we put up a couple weeks back? And granted, these are a couple weeks back. So
a couple weeks back, or
so ours, the ones I'm talking about that Scott has, hopefully, is like Samir and John.
Okay, I thought you were talking.
So it's not going to have the likes of Baruz in it,
right?
Sadly, but nonetheless, I know that we were all very similar, and I think that when it comes down to it, they all have, they have really good eye for the sport, right? I mean, come on, it's Samir and John Hansen.
They know what they like.
Yeah, they know what they like, and it makes sense, right? So obviously, you can't say, here we go. Here I was killing time until. Thank you, Scott. So Samir has Samson in first, Hadi in second, Derek third, Nick fourth, Good Vito fifth. He believes in Good Vito. Sixth, Andrew. Seventh, Martin. Urs eighth, Regan in ninth, and I guess maybe we can put Bonek in that 10th spot. It depends. I know it was hard for Samir. It was hard because he wanted to put all those guys in that first call out, to be honest, and I don't blame him.
Right.
And John has Samson, Hadi, Derek, Nick, Andrew, Martin, Vito, Brandon, Tonio, and Urs. And I was all over the place. I had Hadi, Samson, and I still, I think these are my top 3 regardless in whatever order. Hadi, Samson, Nick. Then Derek, then Andrew, then Martin, then Brandon, then Bonek, Akeem, Urs. That's changed now. It is a little different now. But nonetheless, it looks pretty similar. But yeah, so yours is good. It fits 100%. Like there's no wrong.
More or less, that's what I had before my 11th hour switching up.
Like I said, it makes sense. But I'm excited, Dylan. I appreciate you being here. If you do not know about Project Bodybuilding, please go check it out.
Tell them about it.
You'll see it is a different demeanor. It is fun.
Right. If you loved what you've heard today, you can go over there and watch more. If you hate what you've watched today, you can go over there and hate watch me too. I get plenty of those. Go hate. I appreciate haters. I really do.
I think you like the haters more than your lovers. You know what I'm saying?
Respectable haters are just as important to me as respectable viewers.
Hey, all fuel is fire, man. All fire is fuel. I love it. It's gonna be there, and I cannot wait to see what happens this year. Oh my God, I keep on bringing this up.
Yeah,
It's Christmas, man.
it
It's
is.
Christmas.
I even sat on Santa's lap.
We
Steve
have our little
Weinberger, that is.
bodybuilding toys.
Right.
I keep seeing the little collectible cards. I might need to get them, man. The little action figurines and
They have
stuff like
trading
that.
cards. They're still doing those.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Speaking of nostalgia, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have not, please go check out Project Bodybuilding. Shout out to your boys Samir Banu and John Hansen, who are there, hopefully giving us some live coverage and can give us that, that keen eye that they have. So, I mean, nothing further. I hope you guys have an incredible Olympia weekend. Enjoy it. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think. Call us crazy. We accept it. We love it. Appreciate you guys. Take care.